8:31 now. Local newlyweds who wanted to spend their life together traveling and immersing themselves in new cultures decided to just kind of plunge right in there. Their honeymoon started in Tanzania, East Africa, and capped off climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Joining us are Teresa and Andrew Allen, this month's Fox 9 Global Volunteers. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so let's talk about the decision first. This is a big step. I mean, you just got married in December, by the way. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What made you decide to take this type of trip to plunge into marriage?
Well, neither of us are really ones for comfortable travel, so we thought, given our time constraints, this would be a good way to immerse ourselves in a new culture. That was one part of it, and the other.
And then, too, we wanted to make a difference, not just travel somewhere and sort of be tourists, but just to sort of help the global community, too.
And let's talk about, for instance, Teresa, what did you do in the classroom? We have some pictures of you in Tanzania. What type of work did you do to help the community?
Basically just basic computing, assisting the students you can see here. This is rare that they even have computers. Some former volunteers had donated them. So I was teaching them the typing basics and some Microsoft Word basics, just fundamentals. That was about it. But they were really appreciative, and they kept coming back day after day. So
were they just intrigued with computers? And
they were. The concept, you have to start ground zero
basic.
And kind of almost create a manual on the fly. So it was you know, even just to start up the computer, put in the floppy disk, all of that, you had to get right down to the very, very, very simple part of it all.
Remember way back then. Okay. Now, Andrew, let's talk about the type of work. I know the two of you worked on projects together, but we have a picture here. And I believe you're with a doctor. What were you doing for this clinic?
Really just mainly observing. We helped take the patients in, which really entailed simply writing down their name, their age, and giving them a number. And the rest of it was observing and learning. Kind
of working as staff and helping just move things along in an office.
Yep,
what was interesting, though, with the doctor is he's also the town meat inspector as well as the town dentist, so we got to witness meat inspections and extractions. So
wow. Yes. You really did get a chance to kind of experience a lot of the culture there.
Yeah.
You were also involved in the map project. Why was this important to put together a map?
It gave the students and us a chance to be in each other's presence and to learn world geography.
They hadn't really seen or been exposed to many maps in their life before?
No, they were pretty enlightened by it, learning where we're from, you know, their place in the world, and you know, just looking at the general geography.
You think about something as simple as a map. It's you know, in classrooms all across this country, that it's something actually not so usual there.
Exactly.
Now you capped off your trip with going up to Mount Kilimanjaro, taking that trek. I mean, that's pretty extreme. What was that experience like? And I understand that part of this trip, there were actually some climbers who
just before
died
we got there.
Yeah, 3 Americans had died 2 days before we began the trip. It was on a different route, but it was unfortunate. It was
pretty sobering.
A freak accident. Doesn't happen very often on this mountain, but it kind of set everything into motion and made us think a little bit about what we were doing, but it was, you know, we're here and we're safe. It was fine.
How it was. It was hard. It was the hardest thing, clearly, we had ever done.
It was harder than we expected.
I would think that this is a good way, though, to start out a marriage. What would you say if people out there that perhaps are going to be taking the plunge and they're planning out, or they're starting the process of planning out their honeymoon and thinking about trips? How do you think that this affected your relationship?
It could have made or broke it. Thankfully, it reinforced it.
Yeah, exactly. It strengthened it.
Yeah, definitely.
There were you know, tough times, and not so tough times, but at the tough times we really turned to each other, and like she said, reinforced it.
But I would encourage anybody. It's unusual. You know, a lot of people think maybe island warmth or something, and not necessarily a cold mountaintop. But it was definitely a good endurance tester for us as individuals, and then for us as a couple, too.
And you learned to appreciate things like running water and electricity.
Yes.
All right. And but you helped out a community. I think that's great. Teresa and Andrew, thank you so much for coming on today. Our
Thank you.
Fox 9 Global Volunteers of the Month.